10 Palpatine facts you didn't know. The Dark Lord of the Sith Empire, Palpatine, is an evil warlord. In this video, you're going to learn some lesser-known facts about the Dark Lord of the Sith. The last fact will absolutely blow your mind. Number 1. Palpatine killed his parents. To become truly evil, you have to execute truly evil acts. During Palpatine's training under his strict master Darth Plagueis, he was presented with an opportunity to further his journey to the dark side. Plagueis told Palpatine to prove his loyalty to the dark side, he must kill his parents. Palpatine and his father never really got along. This made the task slightly easier for him. So Palpatine draws deep into the dark side of the Force to slaughter his entire family, including their bodyguards. After the dark deed had been done, Palpatine contacted his master, Darth Plagueis, to inform him that the job had been completed. Number 2. His name is Sheev. Palpatine is the Sith Lord's last name, but like most beings in the galaxy, he had a first name. Not known by many, Palpatine went by Sheev in his early years. Palpatine did not acquire the name of Sheev until 2014 in the novel written by James Luceno and approved by Lucasfilms. So yes, the Emperor of the Galaxy's full name is Sheev Palpatine. Number 3. He used all 7 lightsaber forms. Palpatine did not enjoy using lightsabers. He felt this was weak, and a true Sith Lord would use the Force, not a lightsaber. A true Force wielder can do way more damage than anyone with a lightsaber. When Palpatine would use a lightsaber, he thought of it as a mockery to his opponent. Although he didn't enjoy it, he mastered it. Palpatine can fluently use all 7 forms of lightsaber combat. If you need a full breakdown on the 7 forms, check out this video. Palpatine is unmatched in saber combat by nearly everyone in the galaxy. Number 4. He was very racist. Palpatine was not fond of any non-humans. He had a very hard time trusting anyone that did not look like him. With him being so deeply evil, this is not something to be surprised by. He has worked with many alien species during the span of the Skywalker saga. This was only to further his success in politics or further his connection to the Force. Grand Admiral Thrawn was his main exception. He trusted Thrawn with virtually his entire army. But he did not trust the Chiss. Thrawn had to prove his loyalty over years of dedicated service to Sheev Palpatine. Number 5. He had 2 lightsabers. Emperor Palpatine, the overarching villain of the entire Skywalker saga, is known for his mastery of the dark side of the Force. Although he was armed with 2 finely crafted laser swords, the scheming Sith Lord almost never made use of them. In fact, he hated lightsabers and preferred to keep to the shadows, acting as the puppet master through all 3 trilogies. However, he was extremely skilled at dual-wielding his lightsabers, and he only ever drew them in 1 Star Wars film, instead preferring subterfuge. Prior to the events of Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine was in possession of 2 nearly identical gilded lightsabers. Both instruments were constructed by Palpatine as part of his training under Darth Plagueis. Although his sabers have been carefully wrought of high-quality materials, their fine ornamentation made them seem almost decorative and frivolous. This was intentional and reflective of his general disdain for lightsabers. He believed, unlike Jedi, he was powerful enough not to require them, instead preferring a subtler approach to conflict, except when driven beyond all alternative to using them, as he was in Revenge of the Sith and a single episode of the Clone Wars. Number 6. He was originally played as a monkey. According to a Star Wars trivia video on YouTube, Emperor Palpatine was originally played by a monkey. In fact, the character's eyes were replaced with chimpanzee eyes during post-production to make him look more like a monster and less like a human in his 70s. However, this is not entirely true. Elaine Baker, the then wife of long-term Star Wars makeup designer Rick Baker, played the character in the original trilogy. It is unclear whether a monkey was used in any capacity to create the character of Palpatine. Number 7. He converted the Jedi Council into his palace. After the execution of Order 66, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant was left as a graveyard for the Order and a symbol of Palpatine's atrocities. The building was left for Palpatine to do with as he pleased, and it quickly became one of his prized trophies. In the weeks following the destruction, the lightsabers of the dead Jedi were piled on the temple steps and burned as a celebration, with many people blaming the Jedi for the Clone Wars and believing that the members of the Order were traitors who tried to kill Palpatine. The citizens of Coruscant happily joined in. Darth Vader was scouring the inside for Jedi tracks and meeting the Inquisitors. The last Jedi to be seen in the temple was the chief librarian of the Jedi Archives, Jocasta Nu. She snuck in to retrieve data on the whereabouts of Force-sensitive children, but soon found herself face to face with Vader and the Grand Inquisitor. Jocasta managed to wipe the archives clean, likely saving many lives, but she was eventually captured and cut down by Vader. After that confrontation, the Jedi Temple's insides were torn apart, and the building became the Imperial Palace. Statues of the Emperor and Imperial artwork covered the interior, with many of the Empire's important dealings taking place inside. Then, Palpatine himself moved into the palace, taking up residence in what was once the Jedi Master's conference room. The Imperial Palace stood as a symbol of the Jedi's defeat for over 20 years. Number 8. He had research stations all over the galaxy. Emperor Palpatine had several research stations, sometimes referred to as observatories, scattered throughout the galaxy. These stations served a variety of purposes, including the development of superweapons and the study of Sith artifacts. In the aftermath of the Battle of Endor, the effects of these research stations began to surface, causing chaos and destruction throughout the galaxy. One of these stations was the Emperor's Plague Storehouse, an uncharted asteroid in the deep core that had been one of Palpatine's secret research facilities during the Imperial era. Number 9. He ordered the destruction of his home planet. Emperor Palpatine, the Sith Lord, was responsible for the destruction of several planets, including Vardos, Necronis, Mandalore, Naboo, and more, through a campaign called Operation Cinder. This campaign was initiated by Palpatine following his death and was even more brutal than the destruction caused by the Death Star. The campaign was driven purely by revenge, and Palpatine wanted the Empire's planets to suffer for failing to protect him. The destruction that followed was one of the most cruel atrocities the Empire ever committed. Number 10. He was intended to be Anakin's father. According to a Reddit post, Palpatine was originally intended to be revealed as Anakin's father. The idea was that Palpatine would have told Anakin that he used the Force to create him, as a reflection of the iconic "I am your father" moment from The Empire Strikes Back. The idea behind this was that the prophecy of the Chosen One was false and created by the Sith to trick the Jedi. This would mean that Anakin was never the Chosen One and was instead a plant by the Sith, allowing them to return. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you want us to cover next. Check out the 10 Anakin facts that's about to pop up on the screen. And as always, may the Force be with you.